Going into the next chapter, which is the fourth chapter, Atha Chaturtodhyaya. So,
Camera.
we're going to be following up with what we have been seeing last week, but this is a new chapter. We have completed the story of Ajamila. Ajamila Charitra is complete. You saw the power of taking the Lord's, Bhagavan's name. And as you know, you appreciate the name more, just like you appreciate the name more when you hear the story of a devotee of Bhagavan like Ajamila. What to talk about your appreciation of Bhagavan when you recognize in the form of all the stories, in terms of all the glories of Bhagavan, in the form of all the remaining chapters and discussions in the Bhagavatam. So you can only imagine how firm and strong you own up the name of the Lord through all this satsanga, right? So this new chapter is regarding a question which Parikshit had for Sukadeva. He had a totally different question. And let us see what is the question. This is also regarding the Stuti. Stuti is the praise of singing the glory in the form of stotra of the Lord Srimad Narayana by Daksha Prajapati. Many of you might know Daksha Prajapati. Prajapati is the one who is the propitiator or the initiator or the propagator of the creation. So yes, Prajapatis are those who have taken up that role from Brahmaji. So Daksha is one of them, and is also preceded by other Prajapatis. And we'll see all that because Parikshit had a question related to the creation, right? So this is the new chapter here, fourth adhyaya, fourth chapter of the sixth canto, Chauta Skandha, Chaturtodhyaya. Shashtama Skandha, Chaturtodhyaya, Rajovacha. देवासुर नृणां सर्गः नागानां मृगपक्षिणां सामसिकस्त्वया प्रोक्तः यस्तु स्वयंभुवे antare. So Raja is here, Parikshit. Parikshit is saying to Shukadeva, dear Shukadeva, Shukaraja, Yatindra, you have mentioned about Deva in the third canto. He is not mentioning third canto because we have divided Bhagavata into so many different cantos. So the third canto, which we have seen long back, there's a brief samasika. Samasika means a brief description of the creation, and where you have said in the Swayambhuva Manvantara. Manvantara is that period of time. Within that, how Devas were created, Asuras were also created, human beings were created, even all the reptiles and animals and birds and whatnot, everything were created, even the trees and everything. So now you have told that briefly, then Tasyaiva Vyasa Vichami Jnatum Te Bhagavan Yata Anusargam Yaya Shaktya Sasarja Bhagavan Paraha. Please go in detail. Parikshit is asking Shukadeva to go into the details of that creation. Vyasam Ichchami. Vyasa means to expand on that. Ichchami Jnatum Me Bhagavan, because I want to know. Parikshit says he wants to know. Anusargam, what followed after the creation? Shaktya Sasarja. But Bhagavan, how is Bhagavan involved in this whole creation? That he wants to know. Bhagavan, who is beyond the creation, How is that Lord involved in this creation? I would like to know. Give me the connection between the Lord and the creation with more details. Suta, who is narrating the discussion between Parikshit and Sukadeva to the Shaunaka, the rishis, he is saying the following sloka. Iti samprashnamakarnya rajarshir badarayani pratinandya mahayogi jagada munisatamaha. So Suta is saying Sukha was happy listening to this question. He was elated, he was thrilled because the king is asking, the king is Parikshit and he has only a few more days. So one Mahatma was saying, I have told this before, I can say that again in two ways. One Mahatma was saying everyone has got only, not just Parikshit, everyone in this creation has got only 7 days to live. Because when someone dies, he dies only within the 7 days, which is starting either Sunday or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, Saturday. Apart from these 7 days, no one dies, right? There's no other day anyone dies. It's within these 7 days only, either Sunday or one of the days of the week. So that is why we are all like Parikshit, according to one Mahatma. Another Mahatma said this whole Bhagavatam is asked by Parikshit just to tell all of us what is that we would like to hear. Knowing the fact that everyone, like Parikshit, knows the fact that he's going to die in a certain number of days. So that certain number of days can be more or less, for anybody. So having known that everyone has got a end point with with regards to this body, mind, senses, what is the best thing we can do? Parikshit has shown us to listen to Bhagavatam, which you're all doing here. Now, Sukha is thrilled because in spite of knowing that he has got only a few more days left, Parikshit is so asking about the connection between Lord and the creation, all those fundamental questions. And Sukha is one who is always reveling in the presence of the Lord, in the presence of Ishvara, Almighty. So he's waiting to answer such questions. Sri Shuka Uvacha Yada Prachetasah Putraha Dasha Prachina Barhishah Antas Samudra Dunmagna Dadrishurgam Drumair Vritham. So if we go back, Shukadeva is taking us back to those parts of the stories where we saw there was a Prajapati called Prachina Barihi, and he had 10 sons. All those 10 sons were like-minded in their thoughts. So they were also doing all punya karma. In their actions also, they were trying to complement and supplement and do good things. Since they were all thinking alike, they had the same name. All the 10 sons had the name Prachetasa. They were worshipping Shiv Bhagavan, Rudra Bhagavan, and Rudra blessed them. Shiva blessed them, and with that blessings, they were able to do their aradhana for Bhagavan Sri Vishnu, and they were staying in that waters. They never came out of the waters. They were doing the aradhanas. Now they are out of the water. So they came out of the water and they saw the entire world, entire planet is all covered up because they were not doing their duties. The world was all covered up with plants and creepers and vines and trees, and it was looking like a thick forest, entire creation. And then what they thought? Drumebhya Kradhyamanaste tapodhipitamanyavaha mukato vayumagnim cha sasrujustad vidhakshaya. Towards the trees and all that, they were angry. Okay? And they were pouring their powers, the powers which they gained because of their tapascharya. They were pouring it out in the form of their anger. See, whatever you gain in terms of your sadhana, you can easily lose in terms of this Shadvairi. Shadvairi is six enemies: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So here they were lost to anger. So your tapasya, you have to conserve, you have to preserve by working on these areas. So it's not about controlling anger, as Puja Swamiji would say. It's about dealing with anger, knowing the reason. So according to Puja Swamiji, when someone is in anger, it is an expression of their pain. Some pain is there. They're expressing it. So what is that pain? What is the source of the pain? Maybe you're feeling helpless. Look at the case of this Prachina Barihi's sons, Pracheta, all the 10 sons. So they were feeling helpless. They had a sense of, guilt of missing their responsibility. They felt accountable for the mess they see in the form of no cities, no villages, only trees and forest. The duty of the Prajapati is to maintain villages and cities and systems, metropolis and all that. So they felt they missed their responsibility. There's a sense of guilt, there's a sense of helplessness, and that is coming out in the form of anger. So the pain of missing their duties, the fear of not having any control anymore. You see how I'm connecting Puja Swamiji's way of dealing with anger, not controlling anger, but dealing with anger by going to these fundamental causes. It is not there in Bhagavatam, but I'm able to connect, so make it so relevant to you because of Puja Swamiji's way of thinking. Now, let us see what they did. Now they're angry. There's no going back. Mukataha. So from their mouth, they blew air and fire. 10 Prachetasaha, they were blowing air and fire to burn down the entire creation, to rebuild. Out of anger, they're doing this. Tabhyam nirdakhyamanan stam tan upalabhya kurudvaha rajo vacha mahan somaha manyum prashamayanniva. So someone, the forest, the king of the forest. You know who is the king of the forest? They say a lion. But the Devata, who is the Adhisthana Devata for the forest, is Somaha, Chandrama. The moon is the one. Sun makes the kitchen, photosynthesis. Sun is the cause for the cooking. But moon is the cause for the absorption of all the nutrients and making this whole forest. So moon is a Devata for Vanaspatihi. He had in his mind that he has to calm them down. They cannot go on like this. So he was noticing that they're destroying everything. Somaha appeared. And there he is. What did Somaha say? Ma drumebhyo mahabhaga dinebhyo drogdhu marhata vivardhayi ishavo yuyam prajanam pataya smrutaha. Hey, stop doing this destruction. Ma means stop. Rumebhyaha mahabaho dinebhyaha, they are dinaha. Stop this harm, stop this destruction towards these trees and plants who are helpless. So plants cannot run away from you. If you're trying to destroy, chop down a tree in your backyard, sometimes they say, oh, this is a tree which is a little troublesome. The tree cutters, they can sense which tree is going to fall next and in which direction. And suppose if they say this tree has to go, that tree cannot run away and save itself. It's very helpless. Sometimes they say it just to make money. They come and chop down one tree, and they check other trees and say next this, next this. My dear friends, the trees are all like a community. They grow together. Suppose if the rest of the trees were there, when this tree falls, one of the trees fall, then the other trees will support. It won't fall on any houses. So what we did, we destroyed the trees and then kept a few for some decoration and built buildings. And then we say this tree is a problem because it is a standalone tree. It can lean whichever direction. If it leans there, it can destroy that building. If it leans here, it can destroy this building. It was all supposed to be as a community. So even if they lean on the other trees. We destroyed everything around them and say, now it is dangerous to have this one tree. And we get rid of that tree also. So they're helpless, so don't destroy them. Your job, Pratyetasaha, your job, even the human being's job is to support the creation, is to, especially the propitiators of the creation, like the Prajapatis, they have to think about increasing the population of the, flora and fauna. Because that is, you have to think of your forefathers. Did they behave like this? See, they are telling this. Soma is telling to Prachetasaya, but that is a message we are getting now also from all the environmentalists and all those people. We're getting the same message. What did the forefathers do? They were not destroying trees, they were hugging, they were considering trees as very sacred. Forefathers means they're all talking about the same forefathers who had this mind that everything is sacred, the Hindu mind they had. So, Aho Prajapati Patihi Bhagavan Hariravyayaha Vanaspati Nopadishcha Sasarjo Jamisham Vibhuhu. Hey, Bhagavan did not create these trees and plants for no purpose. He had a reason. He wanted to feed you, feed all the animals and other beings. So for the sake of the other beings, this is the verse which sometimes in some other scriptures, some scriptures which are not based on the Vedas, they take such verses and they make it their own and do it differently. They say in our religion, they say in their religion, the Lord created the entire creation for the sake of your enjoyment, human consumption. And they include all the animals also in that. Animals are also meant for human consumption. No. Here the message is, food means, according to Puja Swamiji, it's vegetarian. Puja Swamiji says food is always vegetarian. There's no, you have to negate and say non-vegetarian. In India, that's it. They ask you, in the airlines also. Today I'm going to Bangalore. Today afternoon for some function. I'm coming back. In the airline, if you go to Air India, they'll ask you, even any airlines, veg or non-veg. Vegetarian is the only food. Non-veg is negating what is vegetarian. Because even the animals which people eat, for them the food is vegetarian. Okay? So fundamentally, food is only vegetarian, according to Puja Swami. So that is the purpose of this. Bhagavan Harihi, he created all this for the sake of, nourishing the creation. Annam, then he is giving the explanation. It's good to know for us also. Annam Charana Macharaha Hepadah Padacharinam Ahasta Hastayuktanam vipadam cha chatushpadah. Right? So if you look at all those trees which bears fruits, there's a lot of big trees and they sometimes bear small fruits. You may think it's useless for you, but the birds are feeding on them. The flowers, all the flying bees and all that, they are feeding on them. And then the grass which you see on the earth, what are all the four-legged animals? Horses, goats, cows, even giraffe. All those four-legged animals, they are feeding all the grass and other things. Giraffe can also feed on the trees also. Then what about the other plants? Like, Oshadibhya, the grains, like, rice plants, wheat plants, all those grains which are growing. Who is eating? Who is feeding on those grains? Two-legged animals, two-legged beings like human beings. They are feeding on the grains and all that. So, and then all those green algae you find on the waters. You may not have a use for them, but the fishes are feeding on them. So all that is green, they have a purpose in this creation. What is the purpose? To feed. These are kept immovable. The trees and plants, they're kept immovable. Bhagavan created them not to move, so that you can sustain on them. So that you can sustain on them and not the animals which are trying to move away from you. If you catch a chicken, they wriggle and they want to escape. Puji Swami used to say that. And that means what? They want to be free. So you let them be free. But then you can feed on those which Bhagavan has fixed up permanently on the earth. So that is the message here. Yuyam cha pitran vadishtaha devadevena cha naghaha praja sargaya him katham vrikshan nirdagdhu marhata. Hey, you're all bound by your ancestors, what they were doing. Right? Are you following that tradition? Are you following that culture? In the case of yours, you're all connected to that Indian culture. You try to, you cannot but follow that in many ways. In your kitchen, it is still Indian cooking many times, right? So you're following some way or the other your ancestors. Likewise, Roma is asking the Prachetasah, are you following your ancestors in protecting the creation? Deva Devena, are you following Bhagavan? Are you following the scriptures about what you're doing? Those trees which are meant to sustain you, how can you destroy them? They are not eligible for this. They are not qualified for destruction. You have to keep them. They are eligible for protection. Adishtata sadam margam kopam yachata deepitam pitra pitamahya mahanapi jushtam va prapitamai. Adishtata, so may you follow sadam margam, the path of the righteous path. Give up your anger. Deal with the anger. Process your anger. I'm not saying get rid of your anger, okay? I'm not saying control your anger. Process your anger. Deal with your anger. See the source. See how your ancestors were dealing with such situations. Most likely all your families back in India, there'll be an extended family. Extended family means when you're upset, if your mother's lap is not there, your grandmother's lap is there. If your father is busy, your grandfather is there. Sometimes if your father is busy and extended family, father's brother, uncle will be there. Mother's brother, uncle will be staying somewhere nearby. And his wife, your aunt, she'll also be there. So when you get upset, somebody or the other will balance it off. You may be upset with your mother because she didn't cook your favorite food. You may be upset with your father because he didn't keep up your promise. But that gets processed by your grandmother coming up and saying, your father is like this, he has been like this, don't worry about him, don't take him seriously. Like something like that. So this is called processing. So here, Prachetasa has told, look at your father, grandfather, how they were processing their anger. Take clue from those stories which you remember about them. So that's why we all should be connected to your ancestors if they're living. Even if they're not there, if somebody else can talk about your fathers and forefathers, you can listen to them and see it. And then you'll realize, oh wow, after all, my father was not, the person who I thought was given to these emotions. He also tried to work on that, things like that. Okanam pitarau bandhu drisha pakshma striyapatihi pati prajanam bhikshunam grihya jnanam buddha suhrit. Children's protectors are who? Parents. And then the protectors of the women in the family are the men. And also the protectors of the people or the kings. Bhikshu, the one who's been given to begging. They may be sadhus, they may be munis, yatis, who are all given up everything. Who are their protectors? Grihastha, people in Grihastha, most of you, many of you, all of you maybe. They are the supporters. They are the ones who sustain the sannyasa ashrama also. Bhikshu's ashrama by giving them. So likewise, everyone has got somebody else to support them, protect them. This is how the entire creation is functioning. We're all dependent on somebody, something else, some other system. Antardeheshu bhutanam atma aste haririshvarah sarvam tadvishtadhishnamikshadvam evam vastu shito yasau. Antardeheshu, in all of us. So Somaha, the moon, is advising to this Prachetasa. In and through all of us, there is Paramatma, Ishvara, Narayana. So have that approach, have that vision. Can you see that? If you see that, you would be free from this emotions which are gripping you to the point you are driven to take up adharma. Yes, samutpaditam deha akashan manyu mulbanam atma jijñasaya yachet sagunanati vartate. So here is a sloka which is supporting what I was discussing about anger and all those emotions. Yaha samutpaditam deha. So don't say I should never get angry. Okay, don't say you should never get angry. So as it arises, as you get upset, as you get emotionally taken away, you are becoming a pack of nerves, and you want to do something. First you want to do something, but then see what you can do about what is coming out of you, what is building up in you. So if you're able to process that in the ways which I have been telling you, that is the sloka it's saying that. Then it says, in no time you will win. So processing is the key through all this satsanga, so you can find the cause and effect and all that. Processing it. You know the effect of anger. Whole Parikshit's life got cut short because of anger of the Rishi. We're having Bhagavatam because Parikshit had only so many days to live, and that is because of the curse. So anger can go to what level? You know the stories. Effect of anger. You can also process the cause of anger, and then once you have a control, once you have a say over the expression, we're not saying totally keep quiet. We're not saying walk away and all that. Sometimes you may have to walk away. Physically, you may have to just go to a different place, different room, and then come back and all that. Anger room. Kopa Bhavan is where Kaikeyi went when she was angry with Dasharatha for the announcement he made when she was brainwashed by mantra. She went to Kopa Bhavan. Even in the king's palace, there's a room called Kopa Bhavan. So there may be so likewise you process your anger, in no time you'll win your anger. And not just that, all your good qualities will be, will grow. Sattva will grow so much. You'll be in total mastery about all situations in no time. Alam dagdair drumair dinaihi kilanam shivamastu astuvah vakshi hyesha vara kanyaha patnitve pratigrihyata. He's saying, Moon, Soma Bhagavan is saying, enough of all this destruction, now stop. Whatever is left in the form of all these plants and trees, whatever is left in the cities, in Toronto, in Syracuse, in New Jersey, the state, Garden State, they say, New Jersey, whatever is left, you please preserve that. Who is saying this? The moon is saying towards the Prachetasaha, the next Prajapatis of this planet Earth. So, and then he's also saying, these plants, you think they also they are living, they have their own life. Shiva Mastu Vaha means we protect the rest of the creation. Okay, so Shiva is the word meant for protection, also, sustaining also. May they be where they are. Mangalam Kalyanam Astu. May the plants, rest of them survive. Because they all have a daughter. So Soma is saying, I will offer you the daughter of this forest. And she's an Apsara. I will offer you her. And you continue your creation and stop this destruction. Itya mantriya vara rohan kanya mapsarasim nrupa somo raja yayau dattva te dharmenopa ye mire. Having said so much, having given the married this Kanya, who is the daughter of an Apsara. Brahmlocha is an Apsara. Her daughter is this Kanya, and she's been taking care of this forest. Like the jungle book, the boy, there's a boy who was taken care of by the animals and trees. They don't show the trees are taken care. They show the animals are taking care of this boy in that book, in that story called Jungle Book. Actually, it is the other way. Animals are only going to, you have to protect yourself from the animals. What can take care of you, even if you're in the forest, is that vegetation, like it is told here, very practical. So, having said so much, Soma disappeared. Tebyas tasyam sama bhavat dakshah prachetasah kila yasya praja visasarvisayena loka apuryatasrayah. Okay. Daksha was their son. One of the sons was Daksha after they married this girl. Yasya praja visargena lokaha apuryatasrayah. So Daksha is the most famous Prajapati. If you ask him who is the most Prajapati which you can recollect, Daksha can come to your mind. That's because of Shiva. Because one of his daughters were married to Shiva. So that is how he became famous. So that Daksha is now born. Yata sasarja bhutani daksho duhidra vatsalah retasa manasa chaiva tanmamava vahita shunu. May you listen. From now on, there will be the story of how Daksha wanted to do the creation and what is the obstacle he faced. He loved his daughters so much and he wanted to create with his mind and with his energy. How he went about creation and how he took the help of the Lord, Bhagavan, because without the Lord's help, you cannot create. So all that we're going to see when we come back. I wanted to do a few more slokas, but I'll stop here because I want to do a little bit of Krishna Leela also, and then conclude here, and we can, next week we are not having Bhagavatam. No Bhagavatam next week, because it is Thanksgiving weekend. Thanksgiving Thursday is there. So the eve of Thanksgiving is next week's Wednesday's class time. So we may want to do something. So we will take a break from Bhagavatam next week. But the following week, we will again meet. The first week of December, the first Wednesday of December, we are meeting again. Having said so much, I will go to Krishna Leela, and then we can play Swamiji's Arati Shloka and conclude after I meet everybody. So regarding Krishna Leela, let me stop this screen sharing first. So we've been seeing so much about how Bhagavan's Makan Chori and all that. Then now for a big contrast. So Bhagavan having eaten butter and all that, now he is eating the dirt. He is eating Prithvi. He is eating the clay and sand and whatnot from the earth. He is eating some earth. So this is the next Leela. Next Leela is Mrid Bhakshanam. Makana, Mishri, Navanita, Chori. The one who has been eating the Navanita, the fresh butter, now he is eating some mud and dirt from the earth. So what is the Tatparya? What we can appreciate behind this Leela is what I wanted to say a few words. First thing is the big contrast, right? He has been, who is the one, if I ask you, the one who loves Bhagavan the most are the gopis. And Bhagavan has been going to these gopis' house only to take butter and eat and all that. It's not just Bhagavan's wish, it was also the gopis' wish. They also wished, oh, Bhagavan, hopefully he comes to my house today and take some butter and run away. So I can tell stories to other gopis about how Krishna came to my house today and did that and whatnot. So that was the intention. Their intention was to have Krishna come and do all this Leela so they can chat and, take their phone and talk forever about what happened in their house today and all that, right? So that was the deal. Bhagavan understood this very well. And, he went to their house and did whatever he did. But they were a little thankless. These gopis, when Bhagavan comes to your house and eats, you should be more thankful. You should be so appreciative. Oh, today Bhagavan came to my house. I did my puja and kept 2 bananas. And if you say Bhagavan took away the bananas, you should be happy. Hanuman came in the form of the monkey and took away the bananas. Say, okay, you should be very happy that happened. That is why Puja Swami is very practical. He says if you offer laddu, in fact, you're offering prasada to Bhagavan, knowing very clearly that Bhagavan will not eat them. He will come back to you. That is the reason why you ask. Suppose if Ganesha Bhagavan, he takes away the laddu, which you offer. First day you'll be so excited. Second day you'll be so thrilled. And third day you want to make sure it's happening. And fourth or fifth day, if it happens, keeps happening like that, you will say to Bhagavan Ganesha, Ganesh Bhagavan, you're so nice. Can you also help me by making some laddus? Okay. Can you also come and help me in making some laddus? Chautha din, fifth din, you'll ask Ganesh Bhagavan to come and help you make those laddus. So that is how we are. So likewise, Krishna Bhagavan has been doing all this for the sake of the devotees, but they are a little thankless. So Bhagavan said, I'm also done with you all, gopis. Now, no more coming to your house, no more eating your butter. I'm going to eat the Mother Earth. I'll take a little bit of dust, dirt from the earth and eat like that. So this is one tatparya behind the Leela of Mrigabhakshana. And look at these gopas. The gopas who have been always behind Krishna Bhagavan in all the Makan Chori, in all the stealing of the butter. They were nowhere there around Krishna Bhagavan, Balmukunda Krishna when he was eating the dirt. But they went to Yashoda, went running to Yashoda to complain. Ma, auntie, Masi, Krishna is eating earth. Do something. He won't listen to us. He's not anymore that nice boy, nice friend. Like that, they went and complained to Yashoda. Why did they do so? See, when you eat the butter, they were all part of Bhagavan Sri Krishna was also giving butter to the gopas. He never said, I'm eating some earth. Before that, let me feed you. Hey, Gopa, come here, eat this earth. He didn't do that. He only took it himself. But these kids were very concerned. When you eat butter, it's okay, even if you steal and eat, because it's going to help in your strength. But this dirt is all amoeba. You'll get amoeba cyst. Okay, right? Amoeba cyst. What will happen to Bhagavan? So likewise, they're concerned. They went and complained. Balram also went and complained, because Balram was also not appreciating what Bhagavan was doing. There's so many things connected to this Leela. Bhagavan wanted to also protect the earth, right? Avatara's rahasya is to protect the earth, Mother Earth, by protecting the beings and all that. So when you want to do something good, you have to get rid of all your papas first. What you do for getting rid of your papas? You do some dhan. You give some thing to somebody. So this way, there is a connection between Bhagavan wanting to do some dana also by eating this earth and all that. But that is for next week or the week after when we meet again. At this point, we will stop here and continue the Leela and continue Bhagavatam also the first Wednesday of December. I'll stop here and ask Vidul to do the honors of the thing. I'll mute myself. There's some vendors going out.